gonna say,
Yeah.
when you turn 40, you got a few years to run.
Do what?
You got a few years before you're 40, right?
I'm tired, like.
I thought
Someday.
the
I'm not up there anymore.
PNC issue.
No, that's last August. I'm at
It is, it will be, we'll have to
Yeah,
pass
do
a
the same thing.
resolution.
Sticker. Still see.
Patrick, now back to the ball table.
Well, my guess is
A couple of them away.
my guess is most of them are turn 40. Now, this was no way we could tell them before.
My next door neighbor, who's the sergeant in the police department, he was at the P and Z meeting last week.
I guess it was something.
Yeah, he said, I'd like to be at the council meeting, but I just got off work and I got other things to do at the house. I said, well, it's on the table.
And actually, I'm glad that it is.
Yeah. I got enough on our agenda already.
Is there a first reading? You've got
Right,
the last agenda, so.
right, this is a newly annexed, this 3506 County Home Road. I'm sure that's the property that we're talking about. Right. Consider resolution setting public hearing date. And the public, right.
Okay.
Yep.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, Amy.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Okay. Rob, did your dog have fun at the dog park? I bet he's worn out now.
Yeah, the girls want to take you back tonight.
No way. At least tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know how we could do that.
I forget we're still doing, still have the virtual meetings on one or two.
Well, we're gonna have some,
It just must be the paper or something.
Carrie's saying,
Doesn't it look like
what's it?
weird? Oh, maybe, because you can see the writing on the other side.
Are you gonna need help with that? Fitting.
Another one?
I guess so.
Sad about the dog park.
Spreading the news.
No more kids here. I wonder.
Okay, it's 5:30. Hiawatha 5th.
Jerry Mowinkle,
Here.
Amy Wickendall,
Here.
Dick Olson,
Here.
Steve Dodson,
Here.
Rob Archibald.
Here.
Approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Anybody from the audience, if they'd like microphone and give us their address, anything they'd like to talk about that's not on tonight's agenda. Anybody? If not, let's move on to reports. Council?
Mayor and council, I attended the water board meeting last month. They were quite busy. They had a lot of resolutions that passed. One thing of interest was they had the owner of some apartments had an unusual high water meter bill, and come to find out they had a leak within their own system. And they're going to Marty, the superintendent of the water department, is going to check for a different meter to put in those apartments to have an easier way for him to read the meter to catch any ongoing water issues ahead of waiting a whole month before to get the bill. They also approved the pay raise for the water department, and they passed several resolutions to buy the new water meters, the MXVs. That will help MXUs with existing money that they had, and also in the budget for next fiscal year. So they'll be having the new meters, would be a lot quicker and easier to get out bills and stuff like that, and more accurate readings. Let's see. Also, the ground storage unit has been progressing quite well. They also approved the first partial payment for the ground storage unit. And one other item they had a 4-inch water main break, and they got that from the time of notification and completely repaired, done with less than 4 hours. So that was good. That's all I have.
Just one item that I wanted to bring up here real quick. I noticed is kind of in the news lately, especially with Congress debating the next kind of stimulus package. There was a lot of worry as to what would happen for people who are renters or potentially missing home payments as a result of the economic downturn. So my understanding is that there is still actually CARES money left, and so if there are people who are facing either eviction or behind on mortgage payments, they can still apply for assistance on that. And Kim did a good job putting up the notification on the city's website, maybe also put up something on Facebook too. But I mean, there is information out there if anyone or who knows anyone who needs assistance for that, that is still available. So.
Okay. Kim?
I was just going to mention dog park today.
That's fun.
That's great. It's a great addition to the city and great contribution from a local business. So good
Yeah.
job.
Hope everybody
Department and Kim partnering together to bring that together.
Great turnout for that event too.
Yeah.
It was just amazing.
The dogs really enjoyed it.
It was fun. It was fun to watch everybody.
And also, I received a couple of emails from citizens thanking us for doing the mosquito spraying again on Monday night. So,
Perfect.
thing to have done again. So,
Good. Thank you. I have just a couple things here just so that you are aware that we have officially received our letter from Corridor MPO, stating that we have officially will receive funding towards our Tower Terrace project. And as of right now, the grand total is $1,514,000. That is broken up into a couple fiscal years. We've fiscal year 20 and fiscal year 21, and we still have a potential to capture a few more dollars depending on how the interchange itself works out as far as how the bids come in. So that's a good number. John and I feel much more comfortable about that. Certainly all those dollars help when we have almost a $4 million project out there. And then secondly, I know we will be doing a proclamation in regards to masks in a little bit here, but did want to confirm that Lynn County Board of Supervisors did unanimously pass read their proclamation and support, along with several of our metro communities. So thank you for everyone for helping put that together and the support that goes along with that. And lastly, we just received an action alert from Legislative Link which is the League of Cities that they send out weekly, that the governor, well, I guess she announced it this week on Tuesday actually, that there is a distribution of $125 million that can now go directly to local governments for reimbursements of expenses related to COVID-19. So at some point we will be, I'm guessing next meeting, we will be asking council to pass a resolution in regards to allowing us to send out that information and be reimbursed for some of those expenses that we've had.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Anybody else? Okay, we're going to move right on to the proclamation, and Rob's spent a lot of time with this, so he's going to read it for us.
As Kim said, the COVID-19 Prevention Initiative. So, Mayor, thanks for letting me read this. Whereas countries around the globe have experienced the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic with over 13.1 pandemic and with over 16.3 million confirmed cases and 650,800 deaths. And whereas the United States has over 4.28 million cases and 147,672 deaths, and whereas Iowa has over 42,779 and 839 deaths, and Lynn County has over 1,889 cases and 87 deaths, and whereas the number of COVID cases continue to increase in our nation, state, and county, placing our residents at risk for serious illness or death, and whereas the World Health Organization has determined that wearing face shields or cloth masks have proven to be one of the most effective means to curb the spread of the COVID-19 virus among persons in public settings, and whereas it is critically important to protect the residents, visitors, students, and employees in the city of Hiawatha from the spread of COVID-19, and whereas the city of Hiawatha and mayor desire that individuals and businesses in the city comply with recommended practices to reduce the virus spread, including physical distancing and use of face shields or cloth face masks, and whereas the city of Hiawatha joins Lynn County and our Lynn County metro communities in its efforts to persuade the state of Iowa and Governor Reynolds to mandate masks to be worn by all residents, visitors, students, and employees, both state and local municipalities, to aid in the reduction of COVID-19 cases. And whereas the city of Hiawatha joins Lynn County and our Lynn County metro communities to call upon the governor of the state of Iowa to authorize local governments to respond COVID-19 pandemic by enacting legally enforceable restrictions on the activity and actions of persons who do not wear face coverings when the use of face coverings may protect lives and health. And whereas it is the desire of the Lynn County Board of Supervisors, the Lynn County Board of Public Health, and the undersigned mayors of the municipal jurisdictions within Lynn County to curtail the spread of COVID-19 within the county of Lynn by requiring the use of face coverings by persons within the county of Lynn, subject to terms of any local ordinance, resolution, proclamation, or enacted rule. Now, therefore, I, Rob Archibald, on behalf of Mayor Bill Bennett and the city of Hiawatha, Iowa, do hereby proclaim the COVID-19 Preventative Initiative in Hiawatha and request that everyone physical distance and wear face shields or cloth masks when they are in proximity of other persons, both in public and as well as private locations, and that these practices continue indefinitely until substantial progress in curbing the spread of COVID-19 virus have been declared by public health officials. In addition, the city of Hiawatha joins Lynn County supervisors to formally call upon Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds to modify the existing state of Iowa proclamation of disaster emergency to enable local, county, and municipal jurisdictions to enact localized responses to the COVID-19 pandemic, such as legally enforceable restrictions on the activity and actions of persons who do not wear face coverings when the use of such face coverings may protect lives and public health.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Rob. Okay, we're going to move on to number 9 of our list, and due to our process in adding newly annexed legal description to our code, Chapter 3, boundaries, we are asking to table the public hearing for KNS Investment Zoning Lot Number 1 of Harnish First Edition in Lynn County, Iowa, amending the zoning district map as specified in Ordinance Chapter 165, Section 165.17 to the August 19th, 2020 City Council meeting. So,
Just a point of order on that, Bill. I mean, is it, because I gather from the minutes from the Planning and Zoning Committee that we do have a lot of people who are wanting to talk about. Is it this specific one on the agenda tonight? Because I know there were a couple.
Yes, this is the.
So, I mean, I'd hate to have everybody come here to show up to tell us what they think and then table it immediately and tell them to come back in 2 weeks. Would it be fine to open the public hearing and then table the vote on said resolution?
Mark,
My
what do you think?
recommendation to council and the mayor of the city was that we would table the meeting so that the city could go ahead and get, pass its ordinance to bring that section of property that's been annexed into the city. It's my understanding that the city did reach out to folks to let them know, Kim, that we were thinking this was going to be tabled tonight. So, but that's my recommendation, that we make sure that we first annex the property in through our ordinance before we have any public hearings on rezoning this property.
Just to be clear, the property is annexed. It's just
correct.
it's just
In the
our
boundary, that's
ordinance
right.
to add that into our boundaries.
does that work for you? Does that answer your question?
That
I
answers
know.
the question, yeah.
Yeah, and we definitely tried to reach out to everybody that had any involvement, so. Okay, motion to table the rezoning until August 19th, 2020 City Council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Amy Wickendall,
Aye.
Steve Dodson,
Aye.
Rob Archibald,
Aye.
Jerry Moinkle,
Aye.
Dick Olson.
Aye.
Okay, number 10, public hearing to consider request by Next Level 22 to rezone Auditor's Plot 372, lots 16, 17, and 23 in Lynn County, Iowa, from R1 to C3, amending the zoning district map as specified in the ordinance, Chapter 165, Section 65.17. And we'll open the public hearing at 5:43. Did we receive any letters, Kelly?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, you just want to mention, we have one on behalf of Smelzers and Backens, correct?
Yes, yep. Yep, just the one on behalf of the Smelzers and Backens. As you are likely aware, my firm represents William and Elizabeth Smelzer and Christine and Stephen Backen with respect to an ongoing lawsuit filed in Lynn County brought by my clients against several parties, including the city of Hiawatha. My clients and I were made aware of a recent zoning request by Next Level 22 Properties, LLC, Dave Wright, to formally change the zoning classification of Auditor's Plot 372, lots 16, 17, and 23. My clients had asked me to write a letter objecting to this proposed rezoning. Initially, the rezoning does not, as Dave Wright and Patrick Parsley suggest, match the pre-existing neighborhood. Indeed, the Canes Drive neighborhood was a peaceful and quiet residential neighborhood until Dave Wright began to slowly and inconspicuously buy up residential properties, hoping the city would rubber stamp his plans to convert the neighborhood into a commercial one. Unfortunately, the city has done just that. And along with Lynn County, the problem has been exacerbated even further. The site plan and zoning exhibit contained within the meeting packet make this clear. To rezone lots 16, 17, and 23 as proposed would simply serve to create an even more extreme zoning island. As it stands, there are only 5 homes left in this neighborhood. Dave Wright has already overtaken half of the other plots. More egregiously, thank you. Dave Wright has been operating lot 23 as a commercial space despite the lot's zoning restriction. In fact, despite the claim that this will help expand a new car dealership, lot 23 has been utilized as a used car retaining lot and used car dealership. Indeed, if the city allows this rezoning, the Schmelzers, along with other residential property, will be surrounded on all sides by commercial development. When the Schmelzers purchased their home in 2010, the Dave Wright dealership did not exist. They have always considered their neighborhood as a quiet residential one. Dave Wright has slowly been taking over the entire neighborhood, and if this rezoning is approved, it will strip the neighborhood of any remaining residential characteristics. Additionally, while Dave Wright and Mr. Parsley suggest proper screening and lighting have been installed, this is not the case. Light pollution and sound pollution are omnipresent. Perhaps most egregiously, Dave Wright has placed several security cameras in locations that face directly into the Schmelzers' home. As the present proposal makes clear, Dave Wright did so on property that is not, nor ever has been, zoned as commercial. It is therefore clear Dave Wright has not and will not follow the requirements that are attached to this rezoning. In addition, the Schmelzers have experienced several drainage-related problems stemming from Dave Wright's commercial development and impervious pavement. The Schmelzers' property is frequently subject to pooling and becomes unusable. Accordingly, it is clear Dave Wright has been unable or unwilling to install proper detention ponds or basins to prevent damage to the rest of the neighborhood. Finally, the Schmelzers see this as an attempt by Dave Wright to ensure their property has no value to anyone but Dave Wright, and to ensure Dave Wright is able to purchase the property for pennies on the dollar. In short, no one will be interested in a lot that is surrounded on 3 sides by a car dealership, and the city should not force someone to live inside a car dealership. Finally, the Schmelzers fear for safety of their young children. By rezoning lot 23, the street in front of the Schmelzers' home will effectively be thoroughfare for the dealership, connecting the used car lot to the remaining lots. The street is likely to be used for customer test drives, which frequently include acceleration and speed tests, not to mention involve drivers driving in unfamiliar vehicles. For all of these reasons and more, the Schmelzers request the city deny Dave Wright's request of rezoning. The Backens have been living in the neighborhood since 2006. Like the Schmelzers, they always considered the neighborhood a residential one. Only recently did Dave Wright surreptitiously begin buying up several of the residential homes in an effort to claim the neighborhood's character is now that of a commercial neighborhood. Indeed, Dave Wright already purchased several homes in an effort to take over the entire neighborhood. Although they will not be surrounded by the dealership on all sides like the Schmelzers, the Backens would be sandwiched between the Wright Wash, also owned by Dave Wright, to the southwest, and the used car lot, which has already been illegally operating at lot 23 to the northeast. The Backens fear granting Dave Wright's request will ensure the neighborhood loses all residential characteristics. The Backens also have several drainage-related issues, and their yard is subject to pooling following even minimal precipitation due to several of Dave Wright's impervious paved surfaces. The Backens fear this rezoning will only exacerbate their issues, as it is clear Dave Wright has done little to nothing to resolve water runoff issues to date. This rezoning would require Dave Wright to be responsible for stormwater detention, a task Dave Wright has shown it is not capable of completing. Additionally, the Backens have been subject to unceasing light and sound pollution, which is likely to worsen if the city rezones the lots at issue. It will simply provide Dave Wright an even greater ability to engage in the types of issues the Backens have dealt with for years. The Backens request the city deny Dave Wright's requested rezoning. Thank you for your time and attention. Sincerely, Matthew Callinan.
Thank you, Gary. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak in favor of this item? Okay, is there anybody in the audience that would like to come up to the mic and speak in opposition to this item? I can hear you. Yep.
Hello, everybody. My name is Steve Bakken. I'm one of the plaintiffs on the writing that was just read. A few things I'd like to share with you. When I moved into the community, every morning when I got up, walked outside, get ready to go to work, I looked across at a nice little beautiful park. And it kind of breaks my heart now that I look out there every morning when I get up, and what I'm seeing now is Dave Wright's budget cars. These are cars that he took in on trade-in. Some of them have flat tires, smashed fenders, bumpers missing, busted out windshields. These are the same cars that you see like over at Dara's Towing, and they made Dara's cover them all up with a fence that you can't see through. And here Dave Wright is parked in my front yard. As you know, it will create an island. I'm actually an island too. Out of the, I counted them once, out of all the windows in my house, only 2 of them do not face things that Dave Wright has changed. I used to have a wildlife refuge in my backyard. Now it's a dog park. I'm for the dog park. I really didn't want it there because it's right next to a wildlife refuge. I don't know how you can have deer and turkey and owls and all that stuff and have dogs there too. Yeah. But that's water over the bridge now. I do have to put up with the noise of the car wash every day. But the worst is getting up every morning and looking at that parking lot across from my driveway. It's pretty disheartening. I don't believe Dave is really acted in respect to the neighbors. The parking lot itself has cameras and lighting that kind of violate my privacy. These lights are on till 10 o'clock at night, as well as the cameras. Do I know if they face my yard? I have no idea. Who knows what they face? They could be facing the bedrooms of the neighbors' kids. I don't know. But at this point, I would really stress that the city council reject Dave Wright's proposal to rezone from the R1 to C3.
Yeah.
Ken Botkin. So 2002, me and my brother built the house on 707 Keynes Drive back when it was a nice, quiet neighborhood. And so, you know, whenever I go to my parents now, I have to see what has been allowed to be done there. And I realize that growth is part of every community, you know. It's, as a commercial and residential developer, I understand the process that is usually done to allow a ground to go to a C3. So a C3 opens the floodgates to do it as whatever you want. I mean, in a commercial ramifications, and so it just but basically he's running a C3 car dealership now. I mean, so rezoning it is basically giving him the permission to do what he's currently doing now. I mean, technically, he should have to clear everything off there before it's rezoned to C3. Remove the lights, remove the cars, remove the parking lot, and then rezone to C3. Because you've let him just walk all over the entire residential neighborhood.
And so, you know, I see the fights that I have to put through to get ground rezoned, even residential ground. You have to fight with all the neighbors around you just for a residential neighborhood. So a C3 commercial, you know, along, it's welcomed along, you know, Tower Terrace, you know, along the main drags, you know, that's pretty common, but you've really stripped an entire residential neighborhood of any appearance of a residential neighborhood. And so in my opinion, the whole thing needs to be tore completely out and put back to a park. But, you know, you guys have to figure out what you guys want to do and then do that, because, I mean, you guys have allowed him to get to this point now, so the future's in your guys' hands too, whether you allow him to continue, because you know dang well the next thing he's going to do is going to pave that whole entire retention pond and put bladders underneath to handle all the stormwater. And then the Smelzers and the other people that live there, they're going to be surrounded by cars completely. I mean, completely surrounded, 380 degrees around them. And so, you know, if you give him this, you're giving him the ability to pave that whole entire parking lot with pavement and put cars on it and put more lights and more traffic. And so it's, yeah, so I don't know the correct way forward now, because you've already allowed him to have the C3 ground and parking lot the way it is now. So yeah, it's just, you know, I mean, and basically what he wants is the whole neighborhood. So it's just trying to figure out how to give it to him. So.
Okay. All right, thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to speak in this? Not? Okay, we'll close the. One more. Okay.
Thank you. My name is Dr. Jim Griffin. I've lived in this community for 25 years. I grew up in the inner city of Chicago, about 6 blocks from Wrigley Field. And about 25 years ago, I spoke to this council about the caution and dangers of urban sprawl. I couldn't see stars where I grew up. And that's what I love about living on County Home Road in Toddville. And I know that area has been tabled, but what's happening to this community is going to continue to happen unless you think decisively and think about the future. I can still see stars from County Home Road, but I can see the light coming, getting closer every year. And that's because of developments like Dave Wright. And I grew up in that. I don't think you want that here. This is a beautiful community, and it won't be so beautiful if it continues to grow like it is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you. Them are all valid points, and you know, it's just a constant change. I mean, we can't. 380 brought us a lot of
Desirable to know property.
you know, I mean, everybody knows where I live, and I'm sitting there, and there's 3 acres that's going to change your. You know, it's just going to bring more traffic to Boyson Road, and it's going to bring, you know, we're working on Boyson Road. We're trying to make it more convenient. You know, I mean, Marion has brought us just a volume of traffic, and so I don't know what the future holds, and I my passion is with them, but I don't know how to. So, well, we'll close the public hearing at 6 o'clock. Okay, consider first reading.
Second.
Roll call.
Steve Dodson,
Aye.
Rob Archibald,
Aye.
Jerry Moinkle,
Aye.
Dick Olson,
Aye.
Amy Wickendall.
Aye.
B, consider waiving second and third reading.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And C, consider adoption.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Rob Archibald,
Aye.
Jerry Moinkle,
Aye.
Dick Olson,
Aye.
Amy Wickendall,
Aye.
Steve Dodson.
Aye.
Number 11, consider resolution setting public hearing date August 19th, 2020, 5:30 PM to consider amending Hiawatha Code of Ordinance, Chapter 3, Boundaries, and add the territory 506 County Home Road, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Lot 1, Haddish, First Edition, to Lynn County, Iowa. I have a motion?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Jerry Moinkle,
Aye.
Dick Olson,
Aye.
Amy Wickendall,
Aye.
Steve Dodson,
Aye.
Rob Archibald.
Aye.
Number 12, consider resolution setting public hearing date August 19th, 2020, 5:30 PM to consider amending Hiawatha Code of Ordinance, Chapter 137, vacation and disposal of streets to vacate the north 30 feet of Brandon Avenue right-of-way.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Dick Olson,
Aye.
Amy Wickendall,
Aye.
Steve Dodson,
Aye.
Rob Archibald,
Aye.
Jerry Moinkle.
Aye.
Number 13, Hiawatha Site Lighting Project to Clark and Tucker Parks. A, consider resolution setting public hearing date September 2nd, 2020, 5:30 PM to consider the proposals, plans, specifications, form a contract of estimates of cost on file, and direct publication of notice to bidders.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
It's a great project.
Mm-hmm.
Light it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it provides those trails usability as we
Safety.
go into the fall and safely do it.
Safety? Yeah.
And I'll say it was kind of a bummer we couldn't do it with the solar lighting originally, but I think ultimately it's less expensive and lasts longer for the way we're doing the lighting projects here. So.
Yep.
We leaped bounds as far as the solar, so.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. Okay, roll call.
Amy Wickendall,
Aye.
Steve Dodson,
Aye.
Rob Archibald,
Aye.
Jerry Moinkle,
Aye.
Dick Olson.
Aye.
Okay, number 14, Hiawatha Turtle Creek Park, Phase 1. A, consider resolution approving permanent storm water conservation estimate and temporary construction easements on the property located at Fitzroy Road as ag land owned by Sharon R. Taylor in connection with the Hiawatha Turtle Creek Park Phase 1.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I think this is a positive side of growth. You know, we were talking about some of the negatives, but this is a positive to bring to that area to give recreation activities out there to all those homes.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a great park.
Well, it creates a buffer between the homes and the interstate, so I like it. Okay, roll call.
Steve Dodson,
Aye.
Rob Archibald,
Aye.
Jerry Moinkle,
Aye.
Dick Olson,
Aye.
Amy Wickendall.
Aye.
Number 15, consider resolution of support, Iowa Resource Enhancement and Protection Grant.
So moved.
Got a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Rob Archibald,
Aye.
Jerry Moinkle,
Aye.
Dick Olson,
Aye.
Amy Wickendall,
Aye.
Steve Dodson.
Aye.
Number 16, consider resolution replacing fire department and ambulance handheld portable radios.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
So, I have a question for Mike. This is 4 radios, $20,000 roughly price tag. Why these different than the other 50 radios, or what's the need to have different?
So we have 4 of these that are quad band, which those aren't quad band, which gives us the ability to talk to Benton County,
Benton County coming onto the Harris system in the near future, is that investment? I mean, that's a significant chunk for 4 radios. Is that something we need, or?
You know, that there could always be that possibility that we need the VHF channels and UHF channels when we have access to them. And I don't think it's something I want to buy all 50 radios, but have 4. But it's okay.
Okay.
Kind of dovetailing on that, I guess the question I have is what's the kind of ratio that you use these? I mean, if you have 50 and,
What we use them, I use them all the time. It's the radio that I carry, the radio that Deputy Chief Powers and Deputy Chief Jellison carry. We try to have a radio available for every riding position.
okay.
So the radios aren't, we don't issue the radios to people to take home. Some people do take them home, like Rob takes them home when he's on duty, because he can talk to the crews as he's responding. But 50 is about the number we cover to cover all the riding positions that we have. We don't use them all at once, but that's how we do it. It would be safe for us to move the radios around per call and try to ground them off or back or whatever.
I get the need for the radio. I just question why we need that quad band at almost twice the price if we're, that's my question.
And that's why I limited it to 4. I just feel like it's a tool that I like how to
Okay, anything else? Anybody? Okay, roll call.
Jerry Mowinkle,
Aye.
Dick Olson,
Aye.
Amy Wickendall,
Aye.
Steve Dodson,
Aye.
Rob Archibald.
Okay, consider resolution approving medication services agreement with Mercy Care. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Mike, you
We got,
want to talk about that, Mike, before we?
yeah, this is exciting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We have my other notes.
Sorry about that.
So, as you are, as council, very excited to have Mercy Hospital on. Very excited to have Mercy coming into our community. We were very excited when they called us. It was only several weeks ago. It hasn't been very long since they called us and asked us if we were interested in providing medical transport. What that means is that the person walks into the clinic over here, the new freestanding ED they call it, and is actually having a critical issue that they can be transported downtown or be admitted downtown. They're going to use us to do that. I think maybe I'll let you expand on the significance of them letting us do that. It's a flat rate fee we negotiated with them. It's Mercy pays that fee. It's not, bill the patient. Mercy pays us directly, so it's basically a guarantee of income. It provides us a lot of opportunities to do some different things or see some different things with patients, transporting critically ill patients, working directly with the ER docs. So we're really excited about it. The income from it is significant. Along with that, as I indicated in the memo, I will probably be coming back to you with a staffing plan. I don't expect this to be a big thing in 2 weeks from now when they're open. But I expect this to grow into a big thing, and I don't want to do this and beat it up on the backs of volunteer firefighters who are donating their time. But we're going to have a significant revenue stream, so I think we can get the staffing along with it. I'm excited. I'm honored beyond belief. I'm sure Rob is too. If Nick wants to talk about the significance of us being asked to do this, I'll let you do that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited to do it.
Well, it's very true. There's obviously a history here. We go back to 2004 when we decided that we were going to have an ambulance service. And prior to that, we had quite an issue with a lot of people in Cedar Rapids who wanted us to continue with the Mercy program. And the interesting thing for me, having been deeply involved in that, is that the very people who were opposing this at Mercy are, one of them now is President Emeritus, the other is now President of Mount Mercy. And they have come to us, asking us to be their service provider. And that speaks volumes in my mind to the professionalism that Mike and his team have established. And guys like Rob, who have been volunteering for, gosh, what, over 15 years, have established an unbelievable credibility within the metro area for us to be asked to do this. So hats off to Mike, hats off to his team. And as he indicated, particularly by the numbers, this has the potential to be an unbelievably profitable public-private partnership with a tremendous amount of income. The caveats to something like that is this is no longer just a governmental entity. It's really a business entity. And as such, we need to ensure that we are capturing all the costs that are associated with it. And so that we don't spend literally one penny of taxpayers' dollars on this initiative. So that's part of the discussion that Mike and I have had. Actually, Kim's been involved too. So with that said, there's no question that this is an incredible opportunity. And Mike did mention the staffing issue. West Des Moines had, or still does, actually have a similar alliance with Unity Point. And one of the key issues there is the morale issue, the turnover issue that can come about when you see something like this explode. And Mike already mentioned we don't want to do this on the backs of volunteers. I've had a discussion with Mike, and that's what he's going to come to the council with. We need to start thinking in terms of part-time pay for the EMTs and the paramedics at a fair rate, because we will have the profit to be able to take care of that. And if we do that, we won't encounter the kinds of issues that West Des Moines had in the past that had to go through an audit. So again, I applaud Mike for what he's done. We still have some administrative issues to resolve. And then we're going to have one of the most fantastic programs literally in this area, in this whole metro area. So it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for people like Mike, Rob, Nick, Matt. I can go on and on. Just a tremendous, tremendous group of people. So hats off.
I'd just like to say, as a recently retired Mercy Medical Center employee, I'm stoked and very excited about this. And it's also my understanding that the freestanding emergency department is the only one and the first one in the state of Iowa. Mm-hmm. And I think it's my understanding that it's based on the Medicare reimbursement rate, mm-hmm. which is quite significant per patient. And I'm looking forward to this being very profitable for the city and also a benefit for our citizens and for the countywide people that will be coming in outside of Hiawatha. So this will be the first stop coming in. So, and it's going to be staffed 24/7, 365.
Correct.
Yeah, echo what Steve and Dick said. It's a credit to you, Mike, and the team you put together, and being involved back in 05. I know the struggles that you had and the letters that we got from the local businesses that said, don't come to our facility if we call 911, please send a different ambulance. And one of those was Mercy itself. So it's a credit to you and what you've done, and it's an honor to have this in our community.
Awesome.
I didn't mention to you, just so you know, they expect maybe as many as 19 transfers a day ultimately when this is running, which is a significant amount. But starting out, if we do one transfer a day, just one patient we move downtown, that's going to be an additional $160,000 in revenue. We can handle that. If we do 3 transfers a day, we can still handle that without adding staff, make some adjustments. That's $500,000 in revenue in the city. So it's a pretty significant deal on the cash side too. So.
Absolutely.
Something that popped into my head when you're talking about that. If we transfer, so these are Mercy to Mercy if we go Mercy to the U, do we bill differently? Do we,
Yeah,
okay.
Mercy to the U, they the location.
Okay.
Unless for some reason, Mercy to the U. So that
Oh,
would
we bill the patient, okay.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can bill the patient. Perfect.
Exciting thing going on in Hiawatha. So anyway, we'll end discussion and go to roll call.
Dick Olson,
Aye.
Amy Wickendall.
Aye.
Steve Dodson.
Aye.
Rob Archibald.
Aye.
Jerry Moinkle.
Aye.
Number 18, consider resolution authorizing the replacement of Police Department Vehicle Unit 830.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Definitely needed. I believe that air conditioning is out of this vehicle. Is that correct?
Air conditioning was fixed.
Oh,
And we're going to keep the old vehicle as a backup, correct? And then maybe use that for training, like if we send officers
Yes.
outside, we can use that for transport.
It'll have functioning to, we're gonna leave it in such a state that it'll be able to be pulled back and put in control. It'll have the top lights on the siren, work off portable radios, the new radios that we have that work awesome. So we'll be able to do that, and won't be causing collision. But that is the plan at this point, is to leave it as a spare car. When we have some in the shop, or if somebody in training, that'll be a training car.
Yeah.
Once we get it.
Because we really can't recycle any of it. You know, that's our last sedan and
Yeah,
the
right.
Explorers. Yeah, right. So-
your whole fleet will be utilities now, once this is kind of out of the road.
Oh, no.
This will be a spare.
Rod's still got one.
So we'll have the one sedan, but the rest of the main fleet will be.
Minus the trailer.
Right.
Minus the trailer. Yep. That's correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent.
Thank you.
Roll call?
Amy Wickendall.
Aye.
Steve Dodson.
Aye.
Rob Archibald.
Aye.
Jerry Moinkle.
Aye.
Dick Olson.
Aye.
Number 19, consider resolution approving renewal of the agreement with CGI Communications, Inc., and continue the online communication video program with the Hiawatha website.
So moved.
Discussion? Roll call.
Steve Dodson.
Aye.
Rob Archibald.
Aye.
Jerry Moinkle.
Aye.
Dick Olson.
Aye.
Amy Wickendall.
Aye.
We got anything for next agenda?
I'd like to add possibly discussion on our next work session, kind of relating to our proclamation. As it was mentioned, the Board of Supervisors did pass a similar proclamation, but one other thing that was that I read here today in the Gazette was that the city of Mount Vernon had actually gone ahead with their own mask mandate, just as the city in lieu of the governor. So I guess I'd like to have more discussion on that at next week's work session in terms of what that looks like if Governor Reynolds both either gives us the authority or if she does not, and just try to see what we can do from there.
I think would be very worthy, Kim, to put that on the agenda.
I just always try to keep the consistency.
Hopefully by then, she will have changed her mind, and
Hopefully.
we've got till the 12th for her to
Right.
do a swing.
But, other than that, I've got nothing else. We'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
We are officially adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
No.
And I mean,
It's for all the stupid Iowa.
at least the nice thing was is that we had the grand opening of the dog park, like pretty much everyone was there. Pretty much,